Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel. November 7th, 2017.
2:05 here on the great WRKO. Okay, so speaking of screwed and being screwed, so I talked about the story. 53 minutes is the average commute in Boston, one way. You go to work, 53 minutes, you go back 53 minutes, right? So we're the seventh city in the country with the longest commute. Number one, as I said, is Washington, D.C. Number 8 behind us is L.A. So we actually have a longer commute to work and back than L.A., if you can believe it. Well, now we're going to get hosed when it comes to our taxes. And there's no getting around this fact. The tax bill that the House Republicans have now unveiled, now the Senate still has to weigh in, so hopefully it will change. But the way things stand right now, let me tell you, if you're a middle-class, working-class person, and you live in a high-tax state like Massachusetts, you're going to get hosed. In other words, again, as I said to Brittany before, go to Webster's Dictionary. You know how screwed is spelled? Kuhner. There's even my picture right there. Because the Kuhner man is going to get hosed like many of you are going to get hosed. According now to what you crunch all the numbers, if you live in a blue state, whether it be California, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, even Maryland, a high-tax blue state, most of the itemized deductions that you were able to take before on your federal taxes, state income taxes, which we pay through the nose, local taxes, to some extent property taxes, those deductions will be gone. And so that means that when you crunch all the numbers, you will most likely be paying several $100s more, or maybe even up to several $1,000s more in taxes. What is incredible to me is that the corporate rate is going to be slashed from 35% to 20%. Now, on one level, don't get me wrong, a 20% corporate rate is going to unleash an economic boom. There's no question about it. There are trillions of dollars sitting offshore. They'll be brought back into the United States. You're going to see more factories get created, more capital is going to be brought back in, more buildings are going to be created, more jobs are going to be created. So on a macro level, I think you will see a major economic boom. However, if you look at the actual tax plan itself, and I want you to remember this figure, it's the only figure that matters. It is a $1.5 trillion tax cut. Okay, $1.5 trillion. Over a trillion of that. In other words, the overwhelming majority will go into the pockets of corporations. Only $300 billion is going to go towards individual taxpayers and especially middle and working class taxpayers. If you live in a red state, you're going to see some money in your pocket. Maybe a couple $100s. But if you live in a blue state, your taxes, in fact, are going to go up. How much? Depends on what kind of an accountant you have. But for the most part, your taxes are going to go up. So in other words, the corporations again make out like bandits. Again, they make out like bandits. In fact, the corporations that are most going to benefit from this huge corporate rate cut, Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway, that's Warren Buffett's group, Google, Apple, Microsoft, they are going to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars flow into their coffers. And by the way, as we lose many of our deductions, they're going to keep many of their deductions. And to show you how well some of these big corporations have been doing, Apple in 2016, their revenue was $215 billion. With a B, $215 billion. So again, big business, the corporate elites, big corporations, they get paid. Their pockets get lined. They make a killing off of this tax plan. But the forgotten American, the forgotten man, the forgotten woman, you and I, the middle working class of this country, it depends where you live, but we're essentially getting scraps off of the table. Listen now to Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin in an interview with Tucker Carlson, in which Tucker Carlson asked the $64,000 question. You guys ran on a big tax cut, especially for the middle working class. So, you're a middle class person making about 50, let's say median income, $59,000 a year. How much do you get out of this proposed tax cut plan? Roll it, Brittany.
So if you're a Trump voter and you're making $59,000 median income, what does this mean for you?
You're going to see at least several $100s of a tax cut, and that's what you're going to see, money in your pocket.
So to your critics who say, well, wait a second, corporations are seeing a much larger tax cut. Why is that fair when corporate profits are very high and middle class income is stagnant? What do you say?
Tucker, 70% of the burden of corporate taxes are borne by the worker. So the reason why we're cutting corporate taxes is so that American business can be competitive. Right now we have one of the highest tax rates in the world, and that's why jobs are going overseas. So this is about bringing back trillions of dollars that are offshore and making business competitive. That's why we call it Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
Look, I want the trillions of dollars to come back. Don't get me wrong. And I understand that, you know, you give an incentive, you lower the rates for corporations. Yes, they're going to hire more. They're going to build more. They're going to have more factories. They're going to have more jobs. It's great for the economy. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for a booming, prosperous economy. But whoa. When I heard Steve Mnuchin say a couple $100, I'm like, ooh. You mean that much? Really, a whole $200? Ooh, I mean, geez, don't make me rich overnight now, Steve. Now, look, $200 in my pocket. Actually, we're not going to get it in Massachusetts, but let's say, you know, you're living in South Dakota, or you're living in Texas, or you're living in South Carolina. Yeah, $200 in my pocket is better than nothing in my pocket. But $200, let me be honest, is peanuts. I was expecting a tax cut, a real one, not a phony tax cut, and B, a hell of a lot more than $200. So, you see, my rate is going to stay the same at 25%. The corporations are going to get a cut from 35% to 20%. So their rates go substantially down. My rate stays the same. And there's no matter how you slice it, the itemized deductions are going to be essentially gone. They're going to keep a $10,000 cap on property taxes, and I pay a lot in property taxes, so I'll still get something. But the state income taxes, the local taxes, I can't deduct that anymore. So my tax bill is going to go up. Now, I have to say this. I back President Trump. You know I back President Trump. I believe in his America First agenda all the way. But, you know, say what you want about the Democrats. When they're handing out those EBT cards, they're not cheap. When they're handing out welfare checks, they're not cheap. When they give free health care and Obamacare and public housing, they're not cheap. They don't just give out a couple $100. They go for the full Tsarnaev, baby. If you get EBT and you get welfare and free education and free health care, mass health, and you get public Section 8 public housing, it all amounts to about $52,000, $53,000 a year in total benefits. Huh? That's how you take care of your constituencies. That's how you take care of your voters. But these Republicans, it's always the freaking scraps off of the table. You know, the Democrats don't just give you a $200 welfare check. They give you a good EBT card, huh? They give you a good welfare check. And so I'm just telling you this objectively as a Trump supporter, a conservative populist here living in Massachusetts. My taxes are going up. I work extremely hard. So does Brittany, so does Jared, and so do you. Get up every day. I work like a dog all day. I go home at night. Frankly, I'm exhausted by the time I get home, and I'm exhausted by the time the weekend rolls in. I follow the rules. I work hard. I go to work, and I pay my taxes. I thought this presidency was going to be for us. I thought this tax plan was going to be for us. Instead, my taxes are going to go up. At least several $100s, maybe even $1,000 or $2,000. That's money I don't have. Now, I'll survive. I'm not pleading poverty. But my taxes have gone up. And so I'm looking at this right now, and I'm saying, Jeff Kuhner, look it up in the Webster's Dictionary. That's how you spell screwed, Kuhner, with my 53-minute commute every day, and then another hour going back, sitting in traffic, with my pockets being picked all the time by the politicians here on Beacon Hill. My taxes under Trump are going to go up. And I voted for him on 3 key issues: Obamacare, taxes, and the wall. I mean, yes, on ISIS, radical Islam, a conservative Supreme Court, pro-life, gun rights. Of course, those issues are very important. But if you were to ask me, Jeff, what were the 3 big issues you voted on? Obamacare, my taxes, and the wall. So far, Obamacare has not been knocked out. He's trying. I'm not saying he hasn't. He's done almost everything he humanly can. But the fact is, Obamacare is still in place. My taxes are going up. And the wall still hasn't been built. Jeff Kuhner, look up Screwed, Kuhner. And so my question to you is this: do you support this tax plan, this tax cut plan, or do you think the middle class and the working class, again, are taking it on the chin? Is it time to kill the bill and start over again? This time, less going to the corporations and more going to us, middle working class taxpayers. 617-266-6868. Jimmy, you're up first in Dedham. Go ahead, Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy? Okay, let's see if we can get Jimmy back on. Dan in Woburn. Go ahead, Dan.
Jeff, you're not looking at this tax bill correctly at all. In fact, your tax rate isn't even going to be 25% because it's a blended rate. In fact, under the first, your first income up to $18,000 is only taxed at 10, and then up to 75 right now it's taxed at 15. And actually, if you make 200,000, some of it after 170 could be taxed at 33. So anybody that's making up to 200,000 is going to see their effective tax rate go down. Also, you're getting that 12,000 extra standard deduction. So the way you're looking at it, you're looking at one piece of the tax plan and saying it's going to adversely affect you. That's like running a business and losing $1 on one sale, but making enough money to cover all your fixed costs, and then focusing on the one sale that you lost $1 on and saying the plan's horrible. You have to take this on an individual tax basis. And most people, if you're making under 200, you're not going to lose unless you get a $5 million home.
Dan, you seem obviously very knowledgeable on this. You're making a very coherent case. let me ask you this, Dan. What about the loss of all the itemized deductions, the state income taxes, the local taxes, some of the property taxes?
That's going to hurt senior citizens because I know I had a serious injury, and you used to be able to, if you made, if your injury was more than 7% of your income, you could write it off. Now, as you age, your propensity to get sick goes up. So, yeah, that is going to hurt a fixed income senior, definitely. That's one thing that will hurt them. But with the $12,000, most people aren't paying $12,000 in state income tax, so you're getting it there. Your effective tax rate is actually going down, so you're going to save. I mean, you're not going to make big money, but I actually think some people are going to do all right in it.
Dan, interesting. All right, so you're saying maybe I'm not that screwed as I think I am. Okay, thanks for that call, Dan. Do we have Jimmy back on? Jimmy in Dedham. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Hey, Jeff, how are you, buddy?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you. Jeff, me and my buddies here on the job site, we've been following you from day one. I never met a guy like you I never met you personally, but I did come to your first anniversary party, me and my buddy here. And, Jeff, we went through 8 years, and I'm telling you, it was depressing as hell. Now, we get a spark under our keister now, okay? We're back in, about a year ago this time, all psyched up. Been in the trades for 44 years, okay? Well, I don't know, Jeff, if I'm just between a rock and a hard place with the millennials behind us and the old school in front of us. Thank God the old school is in front of us. But I'm telling you, Jeff, I'm 61 now. I'm coming down the stretch. I hope not the real stretch, but I'm coming down the stretch as far as work and maybe another 5 or 6 years. And I'm telling you, I used to have pride getting up every morning, working with my hands and everything else. Now, I get up now. I got kids. I got grandson. I don't know what the grandson's future is going to be. My kid's future, my buddy's future, kids' futures. I'm telling you, I'm glad Trump is in there instead of the other one. But, Jeff, these people that set the rules, have they ever done a day's work in the sun? I mean, they can set these rules. I would like to bring Trump on the job site. He's been on a lot of job sites. Let him work a day and see what it's really like and what you got to confront. Put him in our shoes and see what he's got to face.
Jimmy, it says on the board that you say Trump double-crossed us. You think Trump double-crossed us?
In a way, he has. In a way, he has. He's got his high-class rich friends. But, Jeff, he's helped a lot of blue-collar guys out on his buildings and everything else. But if he put the boots on and the overalls on and worked a day with his hands in the 90-degree sun on the roof, I wonder if he would say, geez, you know what? I never mind the blue-red states and all this stuff. Everybody should be treated equal that works.
I agree with you.
Your grandfather worked his tushy you off to do it, and look at the pride he instilled in you. Well, I have the same grandfather, and I'm telling you, Jeff, these millennial kids behind us are phone-addicted kids. They don't have a clue what's going on. Not all of them. And I praise the servicemen and women that went over there. But Jeff, it's not the America that we were brought up in.
Jimmy, I'm with you.
We're going to get better, a lot better with Trump. Now I'm 50-50 with him right now.
Jimmy, look, I'm with you. Look, I'll get more into it. We're getting, at best, peanuts. At best. Even Dan, right, who made an eloquent case, said, yeah, you may see your taxes go up. I'm sorry, your taxes go down a little bit when everything's said and done. I don't think they will, but even if they do, how come I'm getting scraps off the table? A couple, at best, you heard Mnuchin, a couple $100, if I'm lucky. Okay, but these guys, they're going to get hundreds of billions. Hey, that's not fair.
What does this mean for you?
You're going to see at least several $100s of a tax cut, and that's what you're going to see, money in your pocket.
No, you mean a whole $200? Come on now. Are you kidding, Stevie? That much? Oh, my God. Ashton, Ava, get ready. Daddy's going to be Santa Claus this Christmas. So let me get this straight. We basically get crumbs, nothing, and the corporations make out like bandits? I want the itemized deductions for state taxes, state income, and local taxes. I want them back in. The mortgage deduction should not be capped at $500,000, as it is right now in the tax bill. What does $500,000 get you now, honestly, in Boston? It doesn't get you a shack, for God's sakes. Like, I'm not kidding. Maybe for the homeless people, like a little shack, you get $500,000. I mean, so The mortgage deduction, no. $500,000 is way too low. And those state deductions, those itemized deductions, I want them back in. Otherwise, I'm losing money on this. Paul in Stoneham. Go ahead, Paul.
Jeff, you sound like a crybaby. What's in it for me, Jeff? Please.
Now, hold on. You think I sound...
What about me? What about me? I want, maybe the blue states that are overtaxing everybody need to pay the piper.
Paul, so you think I sound like Elizabeth Warren?
Oh, you sound worse than Elizabeth Warren.
Paul.
I thought someone had hijacked my radio and put me on NPR.
Oh, did you have to go below the belt like that, Paul?
I did. Somebody stole my radio, Jeff.
So, Paul, Brittany, let me ask you this. Do I sound like, am I a crybaby on this? Am I starting to sound like Elizabeth Warren now? By saying we're not getting enough?
No, but I can understand. This isn't what Donald Trump campaigned on, just for a couple $100. Really, we thought that we were saving a lot more in our taxes here, Don. So I don't think you sound like a baby, Jeff. You're concerned like everybody else, and this is one of the reasons why we voted for Donald Trump to lower the taxes so we get more money in our pocket. Yeah. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen here in Massachusetts. So you have a legit point to question. Jeff.
I was hoping for a couple thousand in my pocket, Brittany, to be honest.
I don't blame you, Jeff.
617-266-6868. Okay, more with your calls. And should we now ban tobacco? Should there be a prohibition on cigarettes? That debate. But first, let's go to Evan Heidenrich. 2:37 here on the great WRKO. Okay, so the Kuhner Country poll question du jour, as the French would say, of the day, sponsored by Bill Kelly Financial Services. I swear, only in this state. Only in the People's Republic of Massachusetts. So there is now a push to ban tobacco. That's right. To ban the sale of cigarettes. Okay, cigars, cigarettes, pipes, whatever. Because it's bad for your health. So, should we ban the sale of tobacco in Massachusetts? Should, in other words, we have a prohibition on cigars, cigarettes, pipes, everything? If you believe the answer is yes, text the letter A to 680-680. If you believe the answer is no, text the letter B to 680-680. As always, you can vote online at WRKO.com. Brittany, what are the poll results thus far?
84% no still, and 16% yes.
Oh, so the numbers haven't changed.
They haven't changed. More people have voted, but the numbers have not changed, Jeff.
All right. Are you an A or a B? Are you for cigar prohibition?
No, it's ridiculous. I don't even smoke, but...
All right. So listen to this. Listen, I swear, only in Massachusetts, nowhere else. Okay, listen to this. So, in the town of Bridgewater, the town council is now proposing an ordinance that would ban the sale of tobacco products, cigarettes, cigars, whatever, tobacco that you put in a pipe. And the person that's leading the charge is Councillor William Wood. To me, I think a better name for him would be William Weed, but let that go, okay? Because he likes marijuana. So, see, that's the thing about the Moonbats. They love weed. Oh, they love marijuana. You can smoke it anywhere. I'm not kidding. Smoke it on the job, smoke it on the street, smoke it in the toilet, just smoke it all day, baby. But cigarettes, no. That we have to ban, okay? What'd I tell you? Liberalism is a mental disorder. So, but I'm not going to call him William Weed, although we should. That should be his real name. I'm going to call him Woody. Okay, so this is being pushed by Councillor William Wood, i.e. Woody. And so according to Woody, tobacco, he says, in any form has a negative effect on the health of our town. And so Bridgewater should be a leader and ban the retail sales of this product to protect the health and well-being of its citizens. But it gets even better. So Woody says it's not just bad, for your health, which we all know. Like, that's another thing. Who in the free world, I don't even just mean America, who in North America, Europe, most of the world now, who does not know that smoking cigarettes is bad for you? Lung cancer, potentially throat cancer, oral cancer. Really, unless you're living in some jungle in the Amazon. Outside of that, everybody else knows smoking is not good for you. So I don't know what Woody thinks he's just discovered, like the theory of gravity or something. But anyway, let that go. So Woody, however, says that it's a health hazard. That's why you have to have prohibition against tobacco. And according to him, sales often lead to use, it's coming, by the children. But here's the kicker. Use of tobacco could lead to, quote, other drug use. In other words, smoking cigarettes or cigars, or I guess a pipe, is a gateway drug, according to Woody. So cigarettes are a gateway drug, but marijuana? No, that's not a gateway drug. No. In fact, the way the libs promote marijuana in this state, like it's better than fruits and vegetables. Like the way they talk, I'm not kidding, like weed, vitamins, you need vitamin C? Smoke some weed. Vitamin B, you need a lot of iron and potassium? Get a bong. Light up a joint. It's going to be wonderful for you. You're low on calcium? Forget the calcium tablets and milk and dairy products and cheese. Yeah, man. Oh, man, I can feel my bones, man. They're getting stronger already, man. So marijuana, no problemo. Cigarettes, not for you. Now, a couple of points, and then I want to open it up. By the way, in Bridgewater already, you have to be 21 years or older to purchase any kind of tobacco products, cigarettes, cigars, whatever. Surrounding towns like Brockton, Stoughton, Easton, Raynham, they also have this law. So I want you to think what the Moonbats are now proposing. They are now proposing that 21-year-old full-blown adults should not be able to smoke a cigar or a cigarette or a pipe if they don't want to. Marijuana, no problem. By the way, many of them would like to even legalize heroin, crack cocaine, whatever. No problem. And by the way, opiates, no problem. Oxycontin, oxycodone, nope, that's no problem. But cigarettes, don't you puff, God forbid. Who is the government to tell adults what they can or can't do with their own bodies? And in particular, who is the government to tell people what they can put in their own mouth? You want to talk about big government run amok. You want to talk about state control over your life and your body. This is a classic example. And the counter argument is so obvious now. Why stop at cigarettes and cigars? Alcohol, just as bad. You drink enough of that, you're going to have no liver. It's not just alcohol. How about sweets? How about chocolate bars? How about cakes? How about any sugar products? Sodas, very unhealthy for you. Diabetes, all kinds of health issues. I could go on and on. Junk food. You eat too much junk food, you're dropping dead of a heart attack. Believe me, you eat enough junk food, you'll die quicker than if you smoke cigarettes. You won't make it till 55. You have McDonald's every day? You know, a Big Mac or a French fry or an Egg McMuffin, or you pump that into your body every day? Like I know some friends who do. You're not making it till 55, 57. Your arteries are going to be so clogged, you're dead. So where does it end? Booze? Junk food? Sodas? Sugar? Cakes? Chocolate bars? I could run down the whole list. It's very simple. We live in a free society. People should be able to have a fundamental choice what they do with their bodies and what they do with their health. Now, I don't smoke. I've never smoked. I don't recommend against smoke. I don't recommend that you smoke. I think it's bad for your health. But, you know, it's not a sin to smoke. You're not intoxicated when you smoke. You're not high or stoned when you smoke. You're not a danger to people on the road. Like, let's say, if you're drinking alcohol. And for most working class people, it's one of the few pleasures they have. Now, I don't recommend that you do it. My grandfather smoked. My father smoked. My uncle smoked. You're not an evil person if you smoke. To me, prohibition has failed. It failed with alcohol, and believe me, you want to see a massive black market for cigarettes or cigars? Whoa! You just try banning tobacco. 617-266-6868. And never mind all the tax money they're going to lose. So you know what's going to happen? If they ban cigarettes or selling cigarettes, they're going to have to make up the lost revenue another way. You know how? They're going to raise all of your taxes. Take it to the bank. Bob in Lexington. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Jeff, one thing they're forgetting, first of all, 21 years old to buy cigarettes. For 18 years old, they can go in the Army and get killed and serve us for that. But for stupid cigarettes, and one other thing I'll say quickly, if they want to ban cigarettes, then I suggest that they ban cars, trucks, motorcycles, buses, because they have more fumes and carbon monoxide coming out of those things than one lousy cigarette. That's all I got to say.
Bob, thank you for that call. But not even that. Over 30,000 Americans a year are killed in car accidents. Driving a car is much more dangerous to your health than smoking or drinking or whatever. Pick your vice. So if you so care about so-called public health, then ban cars. It just shows you the insanity of their logic. 617-266-6868. But to me, it's even a constitutional libertarian issue. Who the hell is Woody to tell me whether I can smoke a cigar or not? Like, really, what's next? No, really. Nah, I don't want you having a steak, Jeff. Jeff, cholesterol's a little high. You know what your doctor said. You got some diabetes there, Jeff. Don't you touch that filet mignon, Jeff. Jeff, you like Diet Coke? Don't you put that in your mouth, Jeff. Like, who the hell does Woody think he is? Ross in Worcester. Go ahead, Ross.
Hey, Jeff, this gets back to a point I had about the whole single-payer healthcare system and the Obamacare and everything, because I knew people like this were going to come along. I knew they would say that, oh, this is unhealthy and it's costing us money, so now you can't have trans fats or now you can't have cigarettes, and it'll get to the point where you will get your one government radish a day and it will make you strong to build a strong country like we did back in communist Russia. I mean, what? And that's where I see all this going.
Ross?
Yes?
I saw this up in Canada. When you have socialized medicine, then the government has a financial interest in controlling your health.
Exactly. That's why, we saw this with the Charlie Gard case in the UK. The kid's too young, so it's like, all right, we've spent all the credits we can on him, so no more health care for you. Now they're going to say, oh, you're fat, so you can't be eating this or you can't be eating that, and we'll be lucky to get anything. Give them, 30, 40 years, and this is kind of where they want to go, because these people who have never worked a day in their life still think they know better than those of us who are out here doing it ourselves.
Ross, and if I'm getting too personal, please tell me. Do you have any vices? No, really. Like, do you like chocolate chip cookies or chips or, I don't know, soda? Or do you like cheeseburgers? I love cheeseburgers.
Put me in front of a thing of buffalo chicken cheese dip, and I'll tear that up.
Now, what if Woody said to you, Ross, that's bad for your cholesterol, it's bad for your blood pressure, bad for your heart. Ross, you got to lay off the buffalo wings.
I tell him I got some of the best blood pressure in the world, and I'll show him the pier that he could walk off.
Blank off. That's exactly what he's... Woody, hey, buddy, blank off. Woody, take care of your own health, okay? Stop minding everybody else's business and start minding your own. 2:55 here on the great WRKO. So you remember I did a segment yesterday with Andrew Beckwith from the Massachusetts Family Institute, how they're now trying on Beacon Hill to legalize child statutory rape. So, you know, what? Let's say a guy like me, 48, could have like sex, all kinds of sex, with a 14, 15-year-old, and it's now going to be decriminalized. Remember that? Okay. This is, to me, the text of the day. 617. Jeff, let's have adults sleep with kids, but don't smoke. WTF is wrong. What the blank is wrong? 617. I couldn't have said it better myself. Carol in Bridgewater. Go ahead, Carol.
Jeff, I'd like to say, hell, I have to find out about this from you. I don't even know about it from my own town. But let me tell you, I'm sick of liberals moving down into the towns and everything and ruining our town government. And I can put my money on it that Bridgewater State University is involved with this because they're the ones who created the petition to ban plastic bags in supermarkets and stores.
So, Carol, I didn't know. So you live in Bridgewater, and this is the first you've heard of it?
Yes.
Carol, there's a town council
hall.
town council meeting tonight, Carol. Show up and tell them, leave our cigarettes alone. Thank you for that call. I mean, I don't know. I guess unless you want to make money on the black market. Because, pretty soon, if these libs have their way, the only place now you can buy cigarettes is going to be at an Indian reservation. Fred and Needham. Go ahead, Fred.
Hey, Jeff. I'm totally with you on the free society, don't tell me what to put in my body, sentiment. But when you got a society that won't let people die from their negative actions or the consequences of their actions, the rest of us end up paying the bills.
Well, Fred, I've heard that argument, but let me ask you this. I mean, I remember a friend of mine who's a smoker made this point to me. Most people who smoke, especially if they're heavy smokers, will not make it till 65. So they're not going to be getting Social Security, say, for 10, 15, 20 years, like maybe you probably will if you have a healthy lifestyle, or Medicare, or all these other government benefits. So, yeah, in the short run, we have to take care of them. But in the long run, in a way, don't they save us money? I mean, let's say you drop dead of smoking at 58.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money we're saving.
Expensive way to go, though.
The what?
I mean, there's a lot of medical bills along the way.
No, you're right. You're completely right.
Insurance rates go up and...
But, I mean, think about it, Fred. Like if they're not collecting Social Security for 15, 20 years or Medicare for 15, 20 years and all that other government assistance, I don't know. I think in the end, it's a net plus for us in terms as a taxpayer.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Fred. Doug in New Hampshire. I've got a minute. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Jeff. I just wanted to touch base on that tax plan. Sounds like Elizabeth Warren wants you $200 you're going to get, but by doing away with the cigarettes. But as far as Trump's tax plan, I was wondering, do you think it's possibly designed that way to put the pressure back on the blue states, kind of like a slap in the face to wake up and hold your own state politicians liable for spending your money, and it's not the federal government taking your money, it's the people right here in your own state?
1,000% correct. 1,000%. And let me tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be a tax revolt in Massachusetts, and you know who's going to lead it? Jeff Kuhner and Kuhner Country. Mark my words. Sometime next year, the taxpayers in this state are going to say, enough is enough. Smoke them while you still can.
The voice of Boston is you. 680 WRKO Boston, 93.7 WEEI HD2 Lawrence, Boston. It's 3 o'clock.